Look at the broken homes, the unwanted pregnancies, the single moms. Look at the emotional baggage that our society and us carry around with the lack of trust, the rejection, the anger, the guilt feelings, the feelings of being used, sexual abuse when it comes to children. Because we're foster parents now, we have to take these classes. We've taken 12 hours of classes. And one of the biggest things that they talk about and that we have to listen and learn how to deal with is children who have been sexually abused. That makes me sick to think about that. But that's where our society is. Sexual addictions. I was. And I am a recovering sex addict myself. So if there's any message that speaks really close to my heart, it's this one. Our society isn't better. I tell all you men know what I'm talking about. When you go out into society and we just get plummeted with this stuff, and we just wish we could just turn that stinking dial off on this whole idea when it comes to sex and sexual desire, because it can just run away from us. If you were God and you saw this mess, if you will, to the 100th power like he does, what would you say? What would you say to our society if you were God? Just be careful. Be responsible. Sin safely. You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that at all. Especially if you loved those people. We're getting ready today, as a matter of fact. Today we're leaving to go up north. And we're going to do some camping. And there's one thing that I love about camping. There's not a whole lot, but I do it for you. So one thing I love about camping, and that's this. I love to build a fire. I love to put all the wood in here. Get it all stacked up right. All you wood fire builders out there, don't make fun of how I am. Y'all saying that fire ain't going to start. Well, it may not, but that's why I bring this. Charcoal fluid. And I tell you what I really love, is I love just, I'll pour this whole can on. I pour this whole can on here, and then I light it. And then we'll sit around tonight, probably. Lord willing, we'll get up and we'll sit down tonight. I'll sit around the campfire and I'll think. And we'll have fun and whatnot. And you know, I think all of us enjoy this fire right in here. Now, some of my kids, they'll probably want to grab a stick or so, start running through the woods or start running around, and I'll be like, no. It's dry out. Bring that fire right back in here, right where it's nice. Right where it needs to be, right where it belongs. Because there's nothing wrong with fire. We all know that. This is common sense. I'm not able to even preach about this. It's just common sense that that's where fire belongs. But when fire gets outside of where it belongs, all of us have seen the pictures on the news when it comes to the wild fires in California. Those things are going crazy. It's like you can't control them. It's like they start up here and start there, and it's destructing a lot of things, destroying a lot of things. Well, I think our society, our culture, has taken fire, and they've taken outside of where it was meant to be. You see, fire is a lot like sex. See, I started this fire, I got it all going, it's big, all good. Enjoyed the fire. God did the same thing with sex. Sex is not a bad thing. Matter of fact, I just happen to think it's a wonderful thing. Okay? But nonetheless, God designed it. God brought the wood. God brought the fire. And He poured a lot of stuff on it. And when He lit it up, we all said, whoa, wow. That's good stuff. This is why the angels wish they were us. It's not a bad thing at all. Sometimes a lot of us have been taught, it's a bad thing. We don't want to talk about it. Stay away. Be careful. No, it's only bad when you take this fire, start running it around, start going all over the woods, and start messing things up. Well, that's where our society is. Very much like where the society was when Paul happened to drop a letter to the Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. He drops a letter to the Corinthians in this type of culture. Running wild with sexuality. Matter of fact, this culture, they were saved out of such paganism. And if you read earlier in chapter 6, it talks about some severe types of people. Severe types of sins, I should say. Not people, but sins that they got saved out of. So sometimes in the conversion process, they didn't know that a lot of some of these things actually in how God wanted them to act and to behave. So Paul drops this letter right now. And in the midst of all this culture, who even in fact, they served a sex god. In Corinth, there was a temple of thousands, some commentaries even say thousands of prostitutes. They'd come home from work, men would come home from work, stop by on the way, have themselves a prostitute, take care of business, come home, and then go off and go to a soccer game. I don't know. That was just part of what they did. That was part. Now, we would look at that and say, no, that was part of their culture. That's just the way some of them thought. And Paul drops this letter down. And he says in 1 Corinthians 6:18, he says this, flee sexual immorality. Flee sexual immorality. Now, when we look at this, I know what a lot of us think. Well, what is sexual immorality? Let's define sexual immorality. And the reason why we need to define it is this. We have singles, possibly even here, that feel and have bought into the twist and feel that this is just a way to express their feelings, a simple act between two consenting adults. And it's okay, it's just sex. And Paul drops this letter. It says, flee sexual immorality. But we have this mindset that even if we're not married, living together, going to be married, possibly, that sex is okay. I mean, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Ain't one of you doesn't try on a new pair of shoes before you buy it. None of you. So it's just common sense. It's just normal. That's what people do. Sometimes even when we're married and we feel we're justified to go out and love her or experience sex with him because we're not getting it at home and therefore not getting fulfilled at home, so we'll walk outside of the marriage boundary. That's not sexual immorality. That's just expressing that sexual desire. It's just sex.